Beneath the ordinary world lies a veil, and behind it, the voices of the lost still whisper.
We are your guides into the shadows, where true crime meets the paranormal.
From chilling crimes to haunted histories, we uncover the stories that refuse to rest.
This is Veil of Echoes.
It sits at the end of a gravel road, outside Port Coquitlam, a stretch of farmland that looks ordinary from the highway. Weathered barns, sagging fences, and the constant hum of pigs shifting in the mud. But step closer, and you'll smell it. A mix of rot and rain, of something buried deep beneath the soil, and something else that refuses to stay quiet. Neighbors said it was just a messy farm, a place where things disappeared and got repurposed. Tools, trash, even people. Because on this land, nothing went to waste. Not even the screams.
The road keeps going. Every turn feels like the last one, until it isn't. He says I can rest a while, warm up, have a drink. He says he helps people like me. People trying to start over. I nod, tell myself it's kindness. Tell myself not to listen to that whisper in my chest. The one that says don't go. It's cold. My stomach aches. So I follow. Because when you're forgotten long enough, even danger looks like mercy. He walks ahead. The light catches his face. Plain, calm, forgettable. The kind of face the world never notices. And maybe that's how monsters survive. By learning to look ordinary. The air smells wrong, sweet, and metallic. Like something that used to be alive. He tells me to wait by the door. Says he'll be just a minute. And for the first time all night, I wish the road had never ended.
Between 1978 and 2002, women vanished from Vancouver's downtown east side, erased by poverty, addiction, and the indifference of a city that stopped looking. And on the edge of that city, a farm waited. To the world, he was a pig farmer. To his victims, he was the last face they ever saw. And to history, he became the man who turned mercy into meat. They say pigs will eat anything, but no one ever asked what the dirt remembers.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Veil of Echoes.
We're your host, I'm Lyndsay.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Bria. Each week we walk the narrow line between truth and terror, where the real and the unreal blur into one story, and where every whisper we tell comes from someone who was once alive.
Tonight, our path takes us up north, to British Columbia, Canada, to a farm surrounded by fences and fog, where kindness was a trap, and the forgotten became a feast for someone else's power.
He wasn't a man shaped by rage, but by the silence that protected him, the kind of silence that only grows when a society stops seeing the people who need help the most.
This is the story of Robert Willie Pickton, the pig farmer from Port Coquitlam, who turned his land into a graveyard, and whose crimes would expose decades of failure from those who should have listened sooner.
Before we begin, a warning. This episode contains descriptions of murder, dismemberment, sexual assault, and violence against women in vulnerable communities. Some details may be distressing to listeners. We tell these stories not to glorify their horror, but to remember the women whose names were nearly erased. Women whose lives mattered, whose families still wait for answers, and whose memories deserve to be spoken out loud.
If you've been walking beside us through this journey, you know your support means everything. Every listen, every follow, every review helps keep our lantern burning and ensures that these stories of loss, truth, and courage continue to echo beyond the dark. Follow Veil of Echoes podcast on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook for behind-the-scenes glimpses, haunting visuals, and early hints of what's waiting just beyond the veil. And a special thank you to Morbid Jen for suggesting tonight's case, and for reminding us that our listeners are the heartbeat behind this podcast. If there's a story you want us to cover, or a mystery that deserves to be heard, send us a message on Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook. We'd love to shine a light on the cases that matter to you.
Your support keeps the lights on, even in places the world once looked away.
Before the headlines, before the horror, there was a boy born in the shadow of a pig barn. Robert William Pickton came into the world on October 24th, 1949, a scrawny child with pale eyes and a nervous stare. Raised on a stretch of farmland that would one day make his name infamous. His parents, Leonard and Louise Pickton, ran a small pig slaughter operation in Port Coquitlam, just outside Vancouver, a town of long winters, long memories, and neighbors who kept to themselves. They had 3 children, Dave, the oldest, Linda, the only daughter, and Robert, the quiet one who followed everyone else's lead.
Louise Pickton was the spine of that farm, fierce, hardworking, and by most accounts, terrifying. She ruled with her fist and her voice. Her sons, Robert and Dave, were expected to work from dawn to dusk, hauling feed, scrapping stalls, and slaughtering hogs before they'd finished grade school. But there was one person Louise didn't want underfoot. Her daughter, Linda. Louise believed a pig farm was no place for a girl, and sent her away to live with relatives in Vancouver while she was still a child. Linda later said she grew up grateful for the distance, and haunted by what her brothers became.
Neighbors remembered the smell first, a stench that clung to the Pickton boys everywhere they went. Their clothes reeked of manure and blood. Other kids avoided them, calling them stinkers. Robert rarely fought back. He just looked down and laughed quietly, as though the cruelty was something he'd already learned to expect. Louise didn't believe in affection. She believed in obedience. If the boys came home dirty, she made them sleep in the barn until they smelled like family. She said to wash Robert's body well into his teens, not out of care, but control. A neighbor once described seeing her scrub him raw with lye soap beside the trough, while he stood shivering, silent, eyes far away. Their father, Leonard, was almost invisible, an aging man who let Louise rule every corner of the property. When animals died, she ordered the boys to butcher them themselves. When family pets sickened, she made them finish the job. It was, she told them, good training for men.
Neighbors never forgot one story from the late 1960s. A local boy, 10 years old, was struck by the Pickton's farm truck. reportedly driven by Robert's older brother, Dave. According to accounts later printed in Canadian papers, their mother, Louise, arrived moments after the crash. Witnesses said she later told her son to leave and push the child's body into the slough beside the road. The coroner ruled the death a drowning. No charges were ever filed.
True or not, the story stayed with the community. A reminder of how little warmth or conscience was ever seen on that farm. Psychologists later noted that Robert developed what they call emotional flattening, a learned detachment common in children raised around death without empathy. He didn't scream when animals died, he studied how they died. And on that farm, death was just another chore. By the time he was 12, Robert preferred animals to people. He named his favorite pig Pinky, and when the animal fell ill, he tried to save it with medicine from the house. Louise mocked him for wasting time. When the pig died, she told him to butcher it himself. He did, quietly, and later told a friend it was the first time he felt grown up. It's just crazy.
Why is it always animals?
I know. She's worse than Augusta.
I thought it sounds like Gein's mom.
I know.
I want to take her and kind of just put her face into a bathroom sink and watch all the blood come out of her eyes and her nose and her mouth.
I know.
At school, he was slow to learn and often daydreamed through class. Teachers described him as polite, but detached, always staring out the window. He had a stutter that made him self-conscious. When he couldn't find his words, he'd pause mid-sentence and blink, like his mind had gone somewhere else. He was bullied for his smell and his silence. By high school, he'd fallen behind, repeating grades until he dropped out around the age of 15. What little social life he had centered on chores and slaughter. When other teens were going to dances, Robert was hauling carcasses to rendering bins.
The isolation hardened him. When his parents died, Leonard first, then Louise, the emotional anchor that had defined his world vanished. But the cruelty she taught him stayed. He began hoarding scraps, broken tools, even animal bones, saying, "Everything has a use if you wait long enough." He never married, never dated seriously, and spent most nights alone in the same house he'd been raised in. The one that still reeked of decay and bleach. Locals remembered seeing him drive an old pickup through town. Hands clenched the wheel, his eyes always scanning the sidewalks.
In the 1990s, Robert and his brother Dave registered a non-profit called Piggy's Palace Good Times Society. It was supposed to fund community sports, but quickly became a chaotic party hub for bikers, drifters, and sex workers from Vancouver's downtown east side. Hundreds would gather there on the weekends, and Robert blended right in, serving pork sandwiches and cheap beer, laughing quietly from the sidelines.
I also read that members of Hell's Angels Motorcycle Club would hang out there.
Oh, I would guarantee that.
Yeah. Behind the noise, the chaos, and the music, he was quietly collecting trophies. IDs, jewelry, bits of clothing. He'd keep them in small boxes in his trailer, neatly labeled in handwriting only he could decipher.
There were warnings, and they were ignored. In 1997, he picked up a woman from Vancouver's downtown east side, promising her cash and a warm place to stay. She accepted it. It was late, and she'd worked the streets long enough to know that sometimes kindness was a gamble. At the farm, the offer changed. He tried to handcuff her, and a fight broke out. She managed to grab his knife, and in the struggle, both were injured. He with stab wounds, she bleeding and terrified. Half-dressed and still clutching the knife, one wrist bound by a broken handcuff, she fled down Dominion Avenue until a passing couple stopped their car. They drove her to the hospital, where police were called. Pickton was treated for his wounds and arrested soon after. Investigators had everything they needed. A statement, the weapon, the cuffs. But the case unraveled. Evidence was misplaced. The woman was dismissed as unreliable because of her addiction. Within weeks, the charges vanished. And he went back to the farm like nothing had happened.
Again. Fucking...
Here, let's just let him out.
And then he ended up, as he says, his own words, killed 49 women.
I want to know, how do you show up with the proof of the handcuffs on you, the stab wounds, the same guy's getting treated for the fight you just had with him stabbing him, and they're like, well, you're on drugs, so you're not reliable.
Who cares if she was a drug addict? Like, what does her...
Should have nothing to play into
She
it.
has stab wounds.
Not when there's so much
She
evidence
was
right in front of them.
handcuffed.
She, and for all they're saying, she could have just been a marijuana smoker, and they could say, oh, hey, you're a druggie.
Especially in these days.
It's like, no. Just because I'm a druggie, do you not see what is currently on my body?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you not see that I ran in here, that a couple brought me in here? I had a handcuff on me, but yet you all are still saying, oh, that's not suspicious.
Right. Well, you're on drugs, so...
Like, fuck you. I don't care if I'm on drugs or not.
Right.
You see this fucking handcuff on me? You better do something about that shit.
Poor girl.
Go euthanize him, since he's over there.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Gosh, you can do that. I know there's medicine for that.
Mm-hmm. And again, slap on the wrist, he thought, I guess, and then he ended up doing what he did.
And they always get a slap on the wrist.
My question is, I want to know if she became one of his 49 victims.
Well, she survived.
Yeah, but did he go back for her?
No.
Or was that
She
when
was
he
in
got...
the documentary.
Okay.
No, she lived.
That documentary, I keep thinking about his friend.
Oh, that comes up.
I need to watch this documentary.
It's called The Pig Farm.
The Pig Farm.
On Tubi.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's on Tubi?
Free, yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, that's good.
Probably gonna watch it when I get home.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Might have some fucked up dreams, but it's alright.
Yeah, I don't know. Piece of shit. I hate this guy. I hate them all, but... Jackson's snoring, sorry. Our dog.
He does that in my ear all night long. The monster didn't appear overnight. He was raised in the mud, fed on neglect, and taught that life, human or animal, had the same weight as waste. By the time he was in his 50s, the boy who had once been mocked for his smell was hiding the stench of death in plain sight, and no one noticed because they'd learned to stop smelling it.
Evil really begins with blood. Sometimes it starts with silence, with a child who learns that pain is just another sound in the barn.
So, is evil born or built one quiet act of neglect at a time? I'm gonna say both.
Well, yeah. In his case, yeah, I could. I can see why how he was raised.
If I was raised with a mother like that, I know I would be fucked up.
And she sends only the daughter off to have a better life, saying girls should not be raised on a pig farm. Like, no one should be raised on a pig farm, but if that's the life that's handed to you, I'm sorry, but live it.
Yeah, She's on the farm. What's so much different?
I was raised on the farm.
Yeah, and you seem fine.
I like the farm.
Do I
Yeah.
gotta watch your pigs, though?
We only have one pig right now.
Do I still gotta watch the pig, though?
Oh, no. No.
Need to make sure there's no body parts in there?
As long as you don't go by him while he's smacking on the dog food, he's alright.
Yeah. But I think in his case, it was more, I don't know, I think his mom had a lot.
Well, most of the cases we've covered so far, it seems the parents have been either neglecting or too overbearing.
Or just completely fucked up.
I mean, look at every single way these men were treated by their mothers. They are all treated a different way. They're held to higher accountability than their sisters, than anyone else. I mean, him and his brother, she cleaned them, but they still stank. And then instead of being like, oh, let's make sure you're good and clean, she made them sleep outside.
Well, and not to mention, she cleaned them until they're
Teenagers.
teen years.
Oh. And then the part with that poor 10-year-old boy. Like, her son Dave hit, and then she just goes there and pushes him into, like,
Well, she had him do it. She told him to push him into it.
Well,
Because I imagine a slough is just a water-filled ditch, like
pretty much.
mud,
Yeah.
slop, rain runoff.
And that's what his cause of death was. So technically he wasn't
Drowning.
even dead.
Yeah, so
What a piece of
apparently he
shit.
got water in his lungs somehow, because,
Yeah.
like, you didn't see the bruises from the truck?
What a piece of shit.
You're telling me there's absolutely no signs of this boy being hit by a vehicle?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, and just thinking about his mom having them slaughter their own pigs and then slaughter his own pet when it got sick and he couldn't fix it.
I know, it's awful.
That right there, that would have messed me up to the
Oh,
point
yeah.
of where I probably would have
Mhm.
ended up in a mental institution.
Yeah. I mean, that's all you're raised around is death, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, and to
Killing
be that young,
things.
yeah.
They're
And-
probably thinking, well, what's different? What's a human different?
I don't think it's the
Mhm.
fact that he was raised around death, because there's plenty of people like that. I think it's how his mother proceeded
Well,
to
yeah.
try to comfort him when things died. She's like, oh, it don't matter. People are waste. Animals are waste. I'm like,
But she did it more in a psychotic way. Than,
oh, yeah, of course she did. I mean, there's very many things wrong with this woman. Yeah. My point, like, why'd you stay on the pig farm? Like, you sent your daughter off.
And the dad was pretty much just invisible, so.
Yeah, it doesn't really say much about him. Like, it seems like she was the rule and that was how it went.
It's always the mom.
I know.
It's always the mom.
Yeah. Weird.
You get the cases where it's the dad, but all of the cases that we've done so far, majority of it has been their mothers.
Like, exactly. Albert Fish,
Ed Gein,
Ed Kemper.
Ed Kemper, like
See, but Gacy,
all moms.
both of his parents were present. They
Yeah, I mean,
raised him more
think
slightly than
his-
normal.
Yeah, his dad was a little more harsh for him, but
His
not
dad was a
like-
little hardcore, but
Not like.
something he could have got over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
his
normal
sisters turned
back
out
then,
fine.
you know. That
Yeah.
was normal. It wasn't like he was being fucking cut up and buried underneath his house and lured in with promises of a better life, and then just to be cut short of that dream.
I just saw a video today of a guy who was renting a house from a friend, and they were complaining about a stench in the basement, so they went downstairs, and right at the end of the steps was like a bag laid out, and he looked, and there was like a liquid coming out from underneath it. It was blood.
Ew.
His friend had murdered a woman in the house and put her in the basement. And apparently this guy knew the girl. So there's your other thing. Just like what I said with Amanda Jones. They
There's
knew each other.
Always a connection.
Yeah. Mm.
Very seldomly is it a random killing where it ends up this brutal.
I mean, it happens.
It does.
Yeah, well, when they lifted up, or opened up the bag or whatever they did, she was missing her head, her arms, and her legs. They found her arms and her legs in another bin with her hands cut off,
Jeez.
along with her feet.
No
Very,
idea. Yep, no ID.
He was like, I'm gonna fucking make sure nobody can identify this bitch.
Yeah.
Just like that Wade Wilson dude.
That
I
that
hate
was
that guy.
Kemper's
I hate
whole
that guy.
thing. Hands, head.
Yep. Fucked up.
The feet is just pushing it, but the hands and head are the most identifying parts on a body. Fingerprints, dental records.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess they don't really get your toe prints.
Hey, you
They
never
should.
know.
I know they should.
They should do a lot of things.
They might.
Get your
I don't know.
asshole
Do
print. That's
they?
pretty fucking unique.
I was about to say, that's for anybody there.
That reminds me of this is important. They were talking about that. It's like, why on our passport don't we just stamp our asshole on there instead of our fingerprint? That's a little more unique and honestly
I mean,
gross, but it is.
Ew.
yeah, it is, but
That'd be nasty. Be like, all right, spread them. Yep, it's him. What the fuck?
how can you tell? There's a little mole there.
We imagine that's what that missing spot was.
Oh, God.
Adam, you know how he is.
Unless you have, like, hemorrhoids sticking out, then how can you identify?
Like, yours is on the left side, his is on the right side. Mark, cut.
Oh,
I mean, other than that, there's...
my body hurts now.
Unless they start doing retinal scans when they do your IDs and stuff. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do.
They'll probably do that next, honestly.
I would not blame them. If that's an easier way for you to identify victims, come scan my eyeballs.
Unless that, well,
Just wait for the
what if
government.
their eyeballs are missing?
And it's not going to be long
What if their eyeballs are missing?
when we're over in Russia.
I was about to say it. They're in the Russia.
Yeah, if their eyeballs are missing, their head's gone,
Then you're really screwed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Imagine if they also decided, though, that they were going to pull the teeth.
Ugh.
they do.
Or the fingernails. Ugh. It's making me hurt.
Some people did it while they were still alive.
People are so fucking
Mm-hmm.
Always bringing it
evil.
back. You comfortable bitch.
What is that guy's name?
David Parker Ray.
No, yeah, but I know him, but that made me think of the other guy that we watched on Hear No Evil. He was also recording, and he said, I'm gonna put...
Yeah.
Hear no evil, see no evil. What?
He said something about, I'm not going to kill you. I'm going to light this cigarette and I'm going to put it out on your back so you can
Yeah.
describe to me how the pain feels.
Yes, and it reminds me of David Parker Ray. I don't know, I forgot what his name was. We're gonna have to do a case over
Yeah,
him.
because
I don't-
his
I
was
gotta
just
look- I can't think
audio
of what his-
recording, wasn't it? So was
Yeah.
David's?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I listened to... I sent it to you today, David's. I listened to his shit, and I was like...
I'm sorry.
I'm
Did
ready
you
for
see
him.
the guy? Oh yeah, you saw the guy. You see how scrawny? Did you see him?
Yeah, I was like...
I feel like we
Your
bring
face-
up David Parker Ray every episode.
That face, when you see that face, you should automatically know that that motherfucker is a killer.
Mm-hmm.
What
You-
fucking person has first of all, a mustache like that? Because that fucking mustache screams child predator. And then these women are like, yeah, I guess I'll go with you.
I'm sorry. I'm not laughing. I'm just...
I guess I'll go. If you're offering me somewhere to stay. And then he's like, guess what, bitch?
Well, he had his
Yeah, it's
his
toy
girlfriend.
bombs.
Yeah, his
Cindy
girlfriend
Hindy.
fucking
Old Shindy Hindy.
doing her bullshit and
What a fucking name that is, man. Cindy Hindy.
It's easy to forget how beautiful the city can be at night. The rain softens the edges, turns every streetlight into a halo, every reflection into a ghost. But in the downtown east side, the glow doesn't mean safety. It's a kind of stage lighting, illuminating the people the world has chosen not to see. Here, survival is an art form. People share warmth in stolen moments. A cigarette passed between shaking hands. A story told to keep from falling asleep. This neighborhood isn't just a place of addiction and poverty. It's a fragile kind of family, where those who have nothing give everything they can.
Sarah DeVries lived here once. 36 years old. A poet, a dreamer, a mother. Her journal was found after she vanished, filled with poems about escape, survival, and self-worth. In one she wrote, I pick up my pen to write what I see. Why do I do it? Because I needed to feel wanted. Sarah disappeared, in April of 1998. Her last words to a friend were simple: "I'll be back before dark." She wasn't.
Brenda Wolf was 32. She'd worked with youth at a local center before addiction took hold. Friends said she laughed with her whole body, like she was trying to chase the darkness out of every room. She disappeared after telling a friend she'd found someone who promised her steady work feeding pigs. Her friend remembered her excitement. Finally, she said, "Something that feels normal."
Mona Wilson was 26, Indigenous, from Vancouver Island. Her sister described her as fierce, someone who fought for her friends when others looked away. When Mona stopped calling home, her family knew something was wrong. Her sister begged police to check the farm. She was one of the last to go missing, one of the few whose remains were identified beyond doubt.
Andrea Joesbury, 23. A painter, a storyteller, a girl who loved turquoise nail polish. She was working towards sobriety, planning to visit her mother for Easter. Her mother kept the kitchen light on every night for months. When police asked for dental records, she said, "That means she's not coming home, doesn't it?" That's so sad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that really is sad.
Yeah. When you open up the door and the first thing you're asked is for your loved one's dental records, and there's nothing else that need be said.
Yeah.
It's depressing.
Very. Georgina Papin was 34, a mother of 7, a woman who faced heartbreak and kept loving anyway. Her sister said she had a light that refused to go out. That light was found years later, and DNA traces buried beneath layers of soil on the Pickton property.
Helen Hallmark, Jacqueline McDonald, Patricia Johnson, Deborah Jones. They were not statistics. They were women who laughed, who teased, who tried to rebuild their lives in a world that had written them off. Their names deserve to echo louder than his ever will.
For years, their photos were pinned to walls of community centers and taped to street poles that peeled under the rain. Posters layered over posters until the missing faces blurred together. People stopped counting. Even police grew numb, calling them transients, as if a word could make a person vanish twice.
But those who loved them never stopped counting. One grandmother baked a cake for her granddaughter's birthday every year, until the day she died. Another mother still sleeps with her daughter's photo beneath her pillow. At vigils, candles flickered like ghosts learning to dance again. Their light filled the dark streets and cast the kind of glow no one could ignore anymore.
Alright, I feel like I don't want to cry. What the fuck?
The grandma one made me want to cry.
It's awful.
Mm-hmm.
When you hear a grandma baking a cake for her grandchild, no.
Every year, it's so sad.
Until she died.
Or until she found out she died.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's awful.
The mother still sleeping with the photo.
Yeah. I hate this guy.
Where's he buried?
You wanna go take
Good
a piss?
question.
I am. I'm gonna piss right on him.
That sounds like a good idea.
You like to smell like pigs anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Fucking asshole.
Get some pig urine.
I'm
Just
gonna have Thor piss on him. That shit stinks.
I know.
He's got some concentrated
Yes,
urine.
he does. It is strong, strong.
Fucking, like, see, people like him, you don't even need to bury, like,
Oh no, he's another one.
Like,
Throw him in the ocean. He don't
feed
even
his
belong
body
there.
to... No, he'd probably like
They
that. So feed his
should
body to
have
pigs,
burned
but-
him at the stake. That's what they should have
Yes.
done.
Can we
Well-
just start vaporizing people?
He was murdered by an inmate, so...
Good.
Well, sucks to be him.
Sucks to be a fucking pussy.
Yeah.
I wonder if he got shanked. What did it ever say what actually happened while he was
I
in
hope
prison?
they fucking tried cutting his head off while he was still alive so he could watch every moment and suffer till his last spinal cord fucking sawed through.
Tell us how you really feel, Zach.
I hate this dude. There's people like him that make me want to hug my children tighter.
Yeah.
Well, just hearing that about the grandmother, it makes me want to go to my grandma.
I know.
Gives me goosebumps in a bad way.
I mean, I couldn't imagine. I don't know. I mean, they're still human beings, you fucking
Nothing
asshole.
you should have to imagine. Just like we said before, their job title should not make them less of a person.
No.
Yeah.
If you make it easier for people to live, we wouldn't have to choose dumb shit to do to die.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fucking dick.
That's why I don't vote. They don't care about us.
Nope.
No.
I've never wasted my time at a voting poll.
It says an inmate admitted on... This is just from CBC News, but an inmate admitted he murdered Robert Pickton in prison because the serial killer continued to brag about his crimes. Martin Cheris pleaded guilty to...
Free that man.
Martin Cheris pleaded guilty to fatally assaulting Pickton with a broken broom handle at the Port Coquitlam Maximum Security Federal Penitentiary in May 2024. He said, "I killed Robert Pickton for the victims. I know that we can't take justice into our own hands, but I killed him for the victims, not for myself."
Martin,
Yeah, but I wonder why he's in there.
he probably did something to be in there, of course, but Martin,
But I mean,
You
he
did a service.
he
Yeah.
eliminated one.
Well, there was a video not too long ago of a guy that had murdered a child predator that was in his...
a few of them, he don't
That's
play.
totally fine with me.
I'm
And you
like,
see his
take
brother
him
just
out.
standing there.
Fucking
Less
take
tax
him.
money we have to waste.
He's just smiling.
I don't care. I'm sorry. If you put somebody on death row, kill them that same day.
I agree.
Sorry.
Or let
I'm
'em
not going to keep paying for that shit.
Or put them in, instead of poor animals in a lab study,
Exactly.
let them be their lab
Let
pets.
them do that. Let
Yeah.
them be experimented on.
Tortured.
They like to experiment on other people by, doing all this bullshit of stabbing and shooting and whatnot. Well, why don't we experiment on you with some hardcore shit that's really going to fuck you up?
Yep.
Let's see what this rat poison and bleach mixture does to your veins.
Right.
Let's just put you in an all-white room, completely silent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're gonna lose your mind.
You're gonna fucking go nuts.
Oh yeah. I'm down.
You're gonna go nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Russia, this is your calling.
Russia.
Sleep experiment.
Hey, I firmly believe that the Russian sleep experiment actually happened.
I love to do that.
We no longer wish to be freed.
I just really hate the fact that they went in there and they were like, there was chunks of meat missing from the men.
They're starving these people,
I'm
and
like-
they started eating each other.
When you say chunks, though, did they grab it with their hand or did they grab it with their teeth?
Ugh.
That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's
Yeah.
a mystery.
Because only one was left, and who knows what's happened.
By 2001, the number of missing women had grown to over 60. The list stretched down the walls of the Vancouver Police Department. And still, no task force, no urgency. Until a young constable asked a question that should have been asked decades before. What if they're not lost? What if they're all in the same place?
The answer was waiting 30 miles away, behind rusted fences and a sign that said Pickton Farm. When the search finally began, investigators didn't find graves. They found soil that whispered back. Teeth, bone, hair fragments of women who had trusted him, buried in the mud where he raised his pigs.
They weren't lost. They were ignored. And when the world finally noticed, all it could say was, how could this happen? But the truth is, it didn't happen in secret. It happened in plain sight. Because no one wanted to see.
Black Dahlia.
Their names deserve more than footnotes in someone else's story. They deserve to be spoken out loud to remind us that compassion shouldn't depend on circumstance. They were daughters, mothers, friends. They were human. And they should still be here.
When we remember their names instead of his, does that change the story? Or does it finally tell the one that should have been told long ago?
That's a good question.
Well, I think we should remember their names instead
I was
of
about to
his.
say, his name needs to be burned at the stake and then sent back to hell. Brought back to be burned again with all the pain, the worst pain. But it has to be tied to him, so he has to be able to feel the pain.
Just put him in a, like how Jigsaw does.
Do some fucking...
But then that would give him a chance to survive, and we don't want him to
he would.
survive.
I was about to say he'd have a chance. No,
Yeah, so I don't know.
That's why you do it like the Wishmaster.
could be like the Winchester house. Get lost, keep going, and you never find your way back.
Yeah.
But why is it only when they are survivors it's their story, but when they're buried 6 feet deep or eaten by pigs, it's someone else's story?
It's always going to be
monster
someone
story.
else's story.
Yeah.
That's the unfortunate part.
Mm-hmm.
That's where Hollywood puts a lot of their money in, because if you ever noticed, like with the Monster series, you would think that they would at least put something for the victims,
Oh yeah. Well,
but none of them.
that's why I
Memorial
know
at the end.
Jeffrey Dahmer's victims' families was furious with the Monster series.
February 5th, 2002. The air of Port Coquitlam carried the smell of rain and hogs. For years, neighbors complained about the stench. But that morning, it seemed worse. Maybe it was just the wind. Or maybe it was the truth trying to surface.
The officers who came that day weren't hunting a killer. They were there for guns. A warrant for a .22 revolver with a homemade silencer. Something an informant said Willie liked to show off, bragging that he could take care of anyone who caused trouble.
They pulled into the muddy driveway around 9 in the morning. A mist clung to the fields, and the barns loomed in the fog like sleeping beasts. Willie was outside, standing near the pig pens, his hands deep in his jacket pocket. He wasn't working. He was just watching the ground. When the officers called out, he smiled faintly and said, "You're early." He didn't ask what they wanted. He didn't look surprised. He just turned towards the house and muttered, "Guess you'll want to see what's in the trailer."
I hate this guy. I know I keep saying this, but I
He's
hate
a fucking
this guy.
he's a fucking weirdo motherfucker.
He's a dick, too.
Another one of those people who thought what he was doing wasn't wrong. And like you said, he wanted to reach 50, and that's the only reason he got mad he was caught, is because he didn't get one more body in his ground. Or to his pigs.
Fucking asshole.
He led them there himself, to the trailer where the smell of rotten oil hit like a wave. On the kitchen table sat a coffee mug half full, an ashtray overflowing with cigarette butts, and a box of bullets beside a folded newspaper. The headline read, "Still no answers for missing women."
They were looking for the gun. But what they found was something far worse. A blood-stained mattress, plastic tubs sealed with duct tape, and on a cluttered desk, a small prescription bottle. The name on the label belonged to one of the women on the missing persons list. And I believe it was an albuterol inhaler. What they found.
They froze, radioed for backup. What began as a firearms search was now the beginning of one of Canada's darkest discoveries. Within hours, the RCMP had sealed off the entire farm. Floodlights, tents, evacuation crews. The quiet town of Port Coquitlam became the stage for something unspeakable. Officers found the revolver, yes. But they also found handcuffs, rope, women's clothing, and a single key that matched the lock on the bracelet of another missing woman.
The barns told the rest of the story. Hooks dangling from the rafters, chains slick with rust, and something darker. Feed buckets filled with things that weren't feed. The pigs screamed when the lights came on, their cries bouncing off the metal walls like echoes of the past.
Those poor pigs. I feel bad for the pigs, too.
I know. Forensic teams searched the property for nearly 2 years. They sifted through 370,000 cubic feet of soil, collected over 200,000 pieces of evidence, DNA linked to 26 women, and fragments too damaged to identify belonging to dozens more. They found teeth, bone, jewelry, purses, and plastic bins in the freezer labeled in his handwriting. Inside, they found the remains mixed with pig flesh, packed neatly, like cuts of meat.
One officer said it didn't feel like a farm anymore. It felt like a museum of what humanity can forget. The air hung thick with bleach and silence. No birds, no laughter. Just the hum of machines and the ghosts of the women who'd vanished.
When they arrested him later that evening, Willie didn't resist. He offered coffee, asked if the officers wanted sugar. When they told him he was being charged with murder, he smiled and said, "Only a few? I was gonna make an even 50.
Stupid fuck.
I fucking hate this guy.
I don't think
If I was
Siri...
that cop, I just right? No, I don't even care.
I know,
I'd punch
like-
I don't think Siri likes him either, because every time I talk about him, she's digging her nails into my leg. She's laying on my lap.
I'm like, I got
She
an
really-
even 50
Yeah.
clips out here.
Yep, she's like, all right, let's get this.
She's like,
fucker.
this fucking bitch
Yeah.
keeps going into my leg. Those words became the line that defined him. A sentence that haunted every courtroom, every headline. It was a confession without remorse, spoken like a joke from a man who'd forgotten what people were.
For years after, investigators said they couldn't shake the smell. Every time.
I bet.
It clung to their clothes, their hair, and their memories. One said, "It's not the bodies that haunt you. It's how normal it all looked. A house with curtains, a farm with fences, and a man smiling as they took him away."
You can bulldoze the barns, scrape the earth, and sell the land. But evil seeps deep. And this farm, this place, still breathes what it was forced to hold.
So if the earth could speak, what would it say about the things we chose to bury and the monsters we pretended not to see?
I'd probably be scared of its answer.
Yeah.
Its answer.
Me too.
Well,
Yeah.
like, he did this for, a span of a few years, just never been, people assumed he did something, but, like, you just don't know who you're walking by, Like,
No, you don't.
And they were hinted more than a few times to go check the farm. Go check the farm. Go check the farm. And you finally went there for a warrant with a gun? What about the 60 missing faces on your wall?
or the poor survivor that...
Yeah. What about the lady with all the evidence still strapped to her?
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's fucked up. When the headlines called him a butcher, they weren't wrong. But Robert Pickton's cruelty didn't happen in chaos. It happened in routine. He was a man who'd spent his whole life learning how to take things apart and leave nothing behind.
The patterns emerged in evidence later. Handcuffs, syringe filled with blue liquid, ropes, duct tape, and a small .22 revolver fitted with a homemade silencer. He used what was familiar, the tools of slaughter, to turn mercy into control. He'd lure women from the east side with promises of food, warmth, or work. They trusted him because everyone said the same thing. Willie's harmless. He just likes the company. But once they crossed the gates of that farm, the world couldn't hear them anymore.
Investigators learned how he operated. How he waited until the parties at Piggy's Palace were loud enough to hide the sound of fear. How he targeted women who trusted him because he seemed small, slow, kind. How he planned every detail of disposal long before the first murder. He fed remains to pigs, sent others to a rendering plant where animal byproducts were processed. The rumor said some of that meat made its way into local markets, but no test ever proved it. Still, police issued a public warning, and for weeks, grocery counters sat empty, because no one could shake the thought that the horror had already passed their lips.
Sorry, I can't.
Oh, Joe Matheny.
Disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
When investigators walked those barns, they realized they weren't searching for a killer's tools. They were standing inside one. The farm itself was the weapon. Every fence, every trough, every drain, designed to make the unthinkable possible, and the evidence invisible.
Inside the slaughterhouse, investigators found everything they feared, and more. Hooks hung from the rafters, stained dark with years of use. Heavy chains swayed in the draft, and the concrete floor bore marks that no one could explain away. It was clear what the building had become. A place built for animals, turned into a chamber for people.
He learned to make disappearance look like neglect, to make murder sound like mercy. It was a system built for silence, and it worked, until the dirt started whispering back.
But the darkness on that farm wasn't his secret alone. There were others who worked for him. Day laborers, farmhands, drifters, people who came and went without asking questions. And one of them, a woman, later told a story that would keep her awake for the rest of her life. She said one night, Willie asked her to ride along into the city, said he needed company while he picked someone up. They drove into the downtown east side, and when he stopped near Hastings Street, a woman stepped up to the window. The worker said the woman hesitated at first. until she saw another woman in the truck. That made her feel safe. They brought the woman back to the farm. Willie told his employee she could go rest in her room. She did. But later that night, something felt wrong. She said she heard a low hum outside, and through her window, she saw a light glowing in the slaughterhouse. She walked toward the barn. The closer she got, the stronger the smell. Metallic, sharp. And then she saw through the doorway the thing she would never forget. The woman from the truck, hanging beneath the fluorescent light.
The laborer said Willie turned, looked her straight in the eye, and told her if she ever spoke of it, she'd end up the same way. She never went back to the police. But years later, when the truth of the farm came out, she told her story in a documentary called The Pig Farm, a warning she wished someone had believed sooner.
If she had gone to police that night, would they have believed her, or would the world have ignored another voice crying out from the dark, like they normally do?
Yeah, it would have been ignored.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because how many
Sadly.
times have other people told the victim? A victim was in there, right there. You guys were helping her. Evidence strapped to her.
Oh, but because she was a drug addict, she doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
No. She was somebody's daughter.
Yeah.
She was somebody's possible sister, a cousin, a best friend. Like, none of that is justifiable to say, oh, well, she was a drug addict.
It's just...
I don't give a fuck if you do the hardest drugs or the hardest drugs. You're still a fucking human being.
This guy is a fucking psychopath. And I know he sexually assaulted them, too.
Oh, that piece of shit.
Yeah.
Wonder if he would have liked his pig sexually assaulting him.
Yeah.
Kind of want to ask him that now, even though he's dead.
Yeah, I know.
But like, would you get aroused by your pigs? Probably.
Probably he's a sick fuck.
After the search, after the arrest, they placed him in a holding cell, a bare room lit by one flickering bulb. He wasn't alone. His new cellmate wasn't a prisoner at all. He was an undercover officer, there to listen.
At first, Willie barely spoke. He hummed to himself, scratched his beard, picked at the concrete wall. Then, as the hours passed, he started to talk. Not like a confession, but like someone bragging about a long, dirty job finally finished.
He told the man beside him that he killed 49 women. Said he was going to make it an even 50. He laughed. A dry, breathless sound that didn't match his words. He said he'd been sloppy. That he should have been smarter. That he'd use a .22 revolver and handcuffs so they couldn't wiggle away.
He told the officer he had taken care of the problem by feeding what was left to the pigs and sending the rest to a rendering plant. He said the smell never bothered him, that he lived with it his whole life.
When asked if he felt guilty, he shrugged and said, "Nah, nobody missed him anyway." I hate this guy.
Fucking
Again.
piece of shit.
I say,
God dang. Motherfucker.
nobody missed him anyway.
Unfortunately,
off.
you're
Oh, well, and
wrong,
nobody
sir.
misses you, obviously.
Yeah, you fucking piece of shit.
I mean, you got taken out in prison because you're a fucking piece of shit, and I'm glad the dude took you out. Fucking
Yes. Mm-hmm.
bitch, that's what you are.
Oh, yeah. Pussy.
Later, when guards cleaned his cell, they found a scrap of paper tucked under his mattress. Written in shaky block letters, it said, "You can't tell the truth if nobody wants to hear it."
It wasn't a confession. It was pride disguised as prophecy. And the most terrifying part was how ordinary his voice sounded when he talked about ending lives.
Even people who could have stopped him stayed silent. One friend and a former worker later admitted that police had asked her for a statement, as she'd seen things on the farm that didn't feel right. But she told them she didn't trust cops and refused to talk. That silence cost lives.
It's hard to hear that and not feel anger. How many chances were there to stop him? How many moments when speaking up could have saved someone? Silence isn't just absence, it's participation.
But the silence didn't last forever. When the evidence reached the courts, the noise was deafening. The farm's secrets were about to echo through a courtroom and through an entire country. By 2002, the farm was empty. The fences, gone. The gates sealed. The silence replaced by a different kind of noise. The hum of cameras, the rustle of reporters, and the voices of families who refused to be quiet anymore.
The trial of Robert Willie Pickton became the longest and most expensive criminal case in Canadian history. He faced 26 counts of first-degree murder, each charge carrying the weight of a name that had been ignored for too long.
The evidence filled the courtroom. Over 200,000 exhibits. DNA, photographs, clothing, personal effects. Forensic experts described how fragments of bones and teeth were recovered from the soil, from freezers, from troughs. Each sample, they said, was treated as a person, because that's all that was left of them.
The prosecution told jurors that Pickton lured women to his farm, restrained them, sexually assaulted them, and ended their lives in the same buildings where animals were slaughtered. They played recordings from his jail cell, his own voice bragging about 49 victims. The courtroom fell silent. One mother covered her ears and whispered, "Please stop letting him talk."
For months, testimony continued. Police, forensics, friends, and experts. Some of the most haunting evidence wasn't physical at all. It was the indifference of the system that had ignored the women for decades.
When the verdict finally came on December 9th, 2007, he was found guilty on 6 counts of second-degree murder. Not the 26 he was charged with. Not first degree, but guilty. He was sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole for 25 years. The maximum penalty allowed under Canadian law.
Through it all, Pickton sat motionless, no anger, no remorse. He stared ahead, scribbling notes in a small pad, occasionally leaning toward his lawyer to whisper, When the jurors played his own voice back to him, he smirked, just for a moment, as if he couldn't see what everyone else in that room was hearing.
When the verdict was read, he didn't flinch, didn't look at the families whose children's names filled those charges. He only nodded once. And as deputies led him away, he asked, "That's all?"
Oh my gosh, what a
Dude,
fucking
bro.
douchebag.
If I was the judge, he would have got gabbled.
I was about to say, I would have just fucking took him out right then and there.
What the fuck is wrong with this guy?
It's so depressing.
Oh, I
it just
hate
it just reminds me of John Wayne Gacy for what he said.
Oh, kiss my ass.
Kiss
Fucking
my
dick.
ass. Like,
They're all dicks.
you deserve it. Don't be looking at the victims' families and saying you can kiss my ass. No, you know whose ass you're gonna be kissing? Satan's ass. And I hope it fucking hurts.
Yeah, fucking
Pineapples for him.
Mm.
big ones.
Big ones. The whole tree.
Spiky ones.
Non-stop. Over and over.
Yeah,
again.
no breaks.
The extremely spiky ones too.
Yeah.
Pine cones.
Like they did in Little Nicky. Do the top of the pineapple first.
Make sure they're not
Yep.
ripe yet. Still kind of green,
Ugh.
but big.
For the families, it wasn't enough. They had waited years, some decades, for justice. But justice came in numbers and paperwork, not in the faces or names of the women they loved. One father told reporters, "He may never walk free again, but my daughter's still gone, and there's no sentence for that."
After the trial, the farm was destroyed. The buildings torn down, the soil scraped clean. But people still drive past that stretch of Dominion Avenue and swear they feel the weight of it. Some say the air changes when you slow down near the old fence line.
The case forced Canada to confront more than one man's evil. It exposed how poverty, addiction, and discrimination can make some lives invisible. It led to new laws for missing persons cases and to a national inquiry into the murders and disappearances of Indigenous women and girls. But change came at the cost of too many who were never found.
Each year, families gather at candlelight vigils in Vancouver's downtown east side. They say their names aloud: Sarah, Mona, Brenda, Andrea, Georgina, and dozens more whose voices deserve to echo. For every flame, there's a life remembered. For every flicker, a promise that their stories won't fade again.
In the end, the trial wasn't about one man. It was about how many chances the world ignored before it finally listened.
Of the Pickton family, only his sister Linda ever spoke publicly. She had left the farm years before the killings, and later said she'll never understand how the brother she knew became a monster.
His brother Dave was questioned but never charged. He sold his share of the land after the trial and disappeared from the headlines. The family name, once just another farm on Dominion Avenue, will never mean the same thing again. So, when justice comes too late to save the lost, is it still justice or just the echo of what should have been heard the first time?
That's definitely not justice. You had so many chances and ignored them because they were drug addicts. Like, I'm sorry.
100%.
Yeah.
They looked at him and because of the minority that they were, and they're like, nobody's gonna miss this person.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Yep.
I mean, some of them are even trying to get in a better spot, thinking they're getting work and...
Yeah, they all had high hopes that they were leaving the street life for a better situation, and that situation was the worst situation.
He is a motherfucker, man.
I know.
Especially that one woman had 7 kids. She probably thought, now I could finally take care of all my children and not have to worry about working these late nights and risking my life to do this for them.
This is gonna sound really bad when I say it. But I'd much rather sit in a room with Ed Gein than this dude.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I will. I mean, I think I'm safe, but...
I would much rather sit in a room with Ed.
I definitely fear for.
Hey, we don't look like... He liked
know,
women that
but-
looked like his mom.
Yeah, so I'm just
hair.
like, that I could handle.
Yeah.
But if I was to sit in a room with this dude, I'd be like, fuck you, nope, I'm out.
Can we bring him back to life so I could sit in a room with him? I don't think he wants to sit in a room with me, because I ain't one of these girls.
It's just fucking... See, and all these women were obviously trusting of... I don't know. It's depressing.
This is the kind of person I want to headbutt until he's unrecognizable.
Yeah.
This is the kind of person I would risk my own head damage to make sure he didn't walk out of that room.
But see, the most annoying thing is he was only charged with 6 counts.
Oh, I know.
6
I know.
of the 26 he was charged for out of the 49 he killed and bragged about. How is that not brought?
with 6 counts. No.
He admitted to 49 wanting 50. He should have 49 life sentences, no chance of parole.
I
Nope.
know.
Execution on the spot. Like, you admitted. Oh,
You know-
guys are here early. Yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
And his
That
mother's
bitch
the
got
one.
that bitch in there.
His mom's the one who told him human and animals are the same weight as waste, meaning they don't mean anything when they're gone. Didn't matter, person or pet. She was sadistic, and he fed off that, and he became worse.
Yep.
Yeah.
Always the fucking mothers, man.
I know.
Need to ask my mom what she's been doing to me all my life.
Why do you think I stay away? Can't do nothing if I'm not there.
It says he was ultimately tried and convicted on only 6 counts of second-degree murder as a result of a legal decision to sever the initial 26 charges into 2 separate trials. The remaining 20 charges were officially discontinued after his conviction was upheld by the Supreme Court of Canada, primarily because a second trial would not result in any additional penalty under Canadian law.
How? There was 49 of them. 49!
I mean, Canada, what are we doing?
Canadian law at the time had no provisions for consecutive life sentences that would result in longer overall sentence.
Murder's a tale as old as time. When Cain killed Abel, they should have known. We need convictions.
Yeah.
We need executions. Life sentences don't fit the crime. Who deserves to live after taking those lives? It's not one. It wasn't an accident. He got off on this stuff.
Obviously.
Do the crime,
And they
do
say
the time.
what? That
Yeah.
he's never been convicted, but you're gonna tell me his brother didn't know any of this?
His brother 100% knew that there was some shit going on because I know Bailey Sarian did this.
He probably.
And she talks about the brother.
I don't want to say. He probably helped.
I guarantee
I don't
you.
know if there's no evidence.
Because the places that I've read this story, the brother's involved some way, somehow.
Yeah, because why did you sell your stuff and dip out of the headlines?
Exactly.
Apparently.
But then I read that him and the sister, Dave and the sister, sued, like, from damages.
You guys don't get that option.
Yeah.
You do not have an option to sue for the damages your
Said-
brothers caused.
Linda Wright and her brother David Pickton sued the BC Attorney General and Solicitor General for damages and compensation related to the extensive search of their jointly owned farm property where the remains and DNA of the murdered women were found. Families of the victims filed civil lawsuits against Robert Pickton's siblings, including Linda Wright. Lawsuits allege that David Pickton and Linda Wright knew about Robert Pickton's activities and were aware that his actions posed a danger to people on the property, and therefore were responsible under the British Columbia's Occupiers Liability Act. The outcome of these specific claims against the siblings has not been detailed in the search results.
Dude's a piece of shit.
There's no fucking way With how him and close his brother resembled being raised, he knew nothing about this.
I'm serious. Every time we bring up his name, Siri just drags her claws into my skin.
Well, for a man that's bragging to everybody else about it, you're gonna tell me he didn't go to his brother and be like, I'm up to 26.
Exactly.
Fucking asshole.
His brother knew.
They had to have. I don't know. When the reporters left and the fences came down, the land went quiet again. The same silence that once hid so much pain crept back like fog over the soil. But quiet doesn't always mean peace.
Neighbors say the nights out there still feel wrong, that dogs refuse to cross the old property line, that the wind carries whispers, not words, just a rhythm. Like footsteps pacing behind the barns that aren't there anymore. Some have seen lights flicker where the slaughterhouse once stood. Others hear pigs when the air is still. Yeah, it's the pig that's like, did you see what he fucking did to me?
I know, those poor pigs.
Yeah. He was purposely starving these animals, that way they would feed on what he brought home.
Fucking piece of shit motherfucker.
No words. Maybe it's imagination. Maybe it's the weight of what the ground remembers. But the land doesn't forget the sound of suffering. It holds on. To voices, to energy, to stories that were cut short.
A paranormal team once recorded near the property line. They captured a single voice on static. A woman's voice saying, home. Nothing more. No scream, no threat. Just that one word. As if the soil itself was answering.
When you think about it, that's all most of them ever wanted. A way home. A chance to be seen again. To be remembered.
And maybe that's what huntings really are. Not spirits trapped between worlds, but memories refusing to fade until we say their names out loud.
So tonight, we light a candle for every woman whose life ended on that farm. For Sarah, for Brenda, for Mona, for Andrea, for Georgina, and for the many others whose stories were buried long before the earth ever covered them.
May they never be forgotten. May their voices never fall silent again.
Because even beneath the soil, the echoes still speak.
So do you guys believe places can hold pain? Or are they just mirrors, showing us the parts of humanity we try hardest to forget?
I think they can hold pain.
Yeah, definitely can hold energies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, especially if you know what went on there. Like, you just look at it and just feel... Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, like, when we went to the Missouri State Pen, just looking at it, we were all like,
Anywhere, like... Or like people, how they feel when they see Ed Gein's property just sitting there, you know?
Yeah.
Like, ugh, it just gives you goosebumps.
I wouldn't feel as bad with Ed Gein's property as I would with this dude. I know it sounds bad, because I'm telling myself, this sounds really bad when I'm saying it. But it's something about using the pigs and how they said they found, like, teeth fragments and hair and stuff like that. That's the shit that bothers the fuck out of me.
How this piece of shit lured all these innocent women to his farm and just killed them. And I think I even read he skinned one of them alive on the hook, even.
Well, maybe him and Ed Gein could have been friends.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling, though, Ed would have been medicated at a point and would have been like, dude, I already did this shit. You're gonna get fucking caught. Just stop the act.
Yeah, I don't. This guy, he did it obviously for pleasure. He's sick fuck.
Yeah, he's another Travis. Murray Travis.
Yeah, fucking assholes. I hope he's burning in the deepest parts of hell.
I hope they all are.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I hope they're all, because they've always said, hell is your worst nightmare being lived over and over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, if I was to go to hell, it would either be spiders or cancer.
Not clowns?
Well, I'm gonna add clowns.
I'm shocked.
It's gonna be a fucking clown that looks like a fucking spider.
Shit, they just put me back
Like
in
Pennywise?
the slide.
Oh shit, he did do that.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Mine would be sitting in the license office.
Oh god.
It never ends.
That's a never-ending nightmare.
It is. Yeah.
Number 22.
Look down at your ticket and it's 2,000,000,004.
202.
Ugh.
Did you say 202?
And then you get to your
22?
number finally, and then it starts over.
Yeah.
That would be awful. Anyways.
Yeah, mine would be a clown as a spider with cancer.
Yeah.
Those are my 3 worst fears.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know what cancer.
Mine's not the diabetes I got, even though I know
I don't
that's
want
a
cancer.
life.
I'm terrified of that too.
I know it's a life-threatening thing being diabetic, but I'm like, hey, I'd much rather have the diabetes than have cancer.
Ugh, or being
Yeah, because it's die or beat us.
crawled on. What am I doing? Crawled on. Centipedes crawling all over your body. Ugh. I don't know. That's a big fear of mine too. Anything like any bugs crawling on me.
I
I
don't
wouldn't
like
even like to imagine
centipedes.
mine.
Oh no.
I don't like centipedes, millipedes, and anything that
And those
has...
poor things are actually good for the.
They're good, but man, they're fucking weird.
I know.
Like, don't get around me with all your fucking feet.
It's just like the
God really messed up when he was making them things.
feeling something crawl over.
It was
me.
almost like he kept hitting the P on his keyboard and just kept going with it. And was like, here, I made a centipede and a millipede.
Yeah.
Your millipede is just the capitalized P. Your centipede is just your lowercase p.
Uh-huh. Well, that was a good palate cleanser, I think, for... We could have probably had more palate cleansers.
Well, I think everyone's gonna like my little theory on the centipedes and millipedes.
It makes sense. It's a good theory.
God really fucked up when he made those things. Same with the spiders.
And flies.
I want to know what was going through the great creator's mind at this point in time, who was like, I'm gonna make this have this big ass abdomen and have these small ass little fangs and a bunch of eyes, and then it's gonna have big ass legs coming out the side of it, and it can climb on walls, it can climb on the ceiling, it can climb on you. Once it gets on you, you're fucked, boy.
Oh, little jumping spiders are cute.
Nope.
They are, though. They are cute.
I will say this, I can admire them from a very, very, very far distance.
Brown recluse or black widow.
Fuck them.
No.
I almost got bit by a black widow a couple years ago.
Sorry.
We were doing yard work and
Ugh.
my dad wasn't paying attention to what I was doing, and I picked up one of the end caps off of our old deck because he tore it down, and I just picked it up, and when I picked it up, flipped it up underneath, and my hand was like 2 centimeters away from the black widow, and
Ew.
I'm like, I threw that thing down and I started stomping on it as hard as I could. I was like, it's dead. I made sure that thing was obliterated.
Yeah, I would too.
You know, they say that you should love all creatures.
I know.
But I cannot love something like that. Sorry. I just can't.
Yeah. Ugh. And that concludes this episode of Veil of Echoes. Thank you for walking through this story with us, for remembering the women whose names matter more than the man who tried to erase them. Their voices remind us that even in the darkest corners, truth finds a way to be heard.
If you or someone you know is struggling, please reach out. We've included links and resources in our show notes. No one deserves to be forgotten.
If our stories move you, share the episode, leave a review, and help our small team keep these voices alive. Every follow, every message, every listen. It means more than you know.
And next week, we head back into the snow-covered wilderness of the Ural Mountains. 9 hikers, 1 tent ripped open from the inside. No footprints leading in. Only the question that's haunted investigators for over 60 years.
Was it weather, military, or something stranger?
Join us for the Dyatlov Pass incident. Part 2, Theories from the Cold, because the mountain still keeps its secrets.
Follow Veil of Echoes on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook for behind-the-scene clips, haunting visuals, and early episode teases. Your support keeps the lantern burning. Until next time, keep your ears open.
And the veil closed.